Pilot Podcast.
Hey! What's up, kids? The gang's back.
Yes.
We're all here together. How's it going, buddy?
Did you have him muted?
I was trying to figure out
No, not at all.
if they'll even know what that means.
What do you mean?
We're all back.
We're all
together.
We could
again.
say that about every time we record.
Yeah.
That's true. Hi.
We're all back.
We're back.
It didn't end. Trust me, sometimes these things end. And it's for the better, but these won't end.
Sometimes it's very abruptly and you don't expect them. And sometimes it's a long time coming.
And sometimes, well, most of the time, it's for the best. All right.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Guys, today we're doing the thing we always do. Oh, at least some of the times do now because we've also been doing movies. But we're talking about 2 TV show pilots. We're a pilot podcast, and our job as a collective group of friends is we watch a pilot of a TV show, we review it, and we tell you whether based on the pilot you should keep watching. There is going to be some spoiler talk for Peacemaker, one of the shows we're reviewing today, but we'll have a timestamp for that on the video. So if you guys don't want any spoilers for anything past the pilot, you'll know to just click off. And we'll also talk about Psychopaths today. Yeah. But first off, what's everybody's name?
I'm Franny.
I'm CL/Cody. Hey guys, it's CL.
Just kidding. It's me, Logan. What's up?
God.
Hello.
Yeah. So, who's got the Wikipedia for the first show? I think we're gonna do Psychopaths first, right?
Okay. Yeah, we can do that. Psychopaths is a Japanese cyberpunk psychological thriller anime television series produced by Production IG. It was co-directed by Naoshi Shiotani and Katsuyuki Motohiro and written by Jin Urobuchi with character designs by Akira Amano. Let's see. Set in the dystopian of Sybil Systems governance of Japan. The plot follows young woman Akane Tsunemori. She is introduced as a novice inspector assigned to Division 1 of the Public Safety Bureau's Criminal Investigation Division in charge of solving crimes with latent criminals called enforcers.
Has anybody here seen Minority Report?
No.
Have I?
Maybe.
Heard
with Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I think we did.
It's about thought crimes and things of that matter.
Yeah.
Oh, I have those all the time.
This is like a 1984 kind of Minority Report deal where essentially people are being not only accused of crimes, but being punished for crimes that they have yet committed in a lot of cases based on the technology they have and I guess like the way that they read people's minds. It's very dystopian right off the top. I thought the one thing I really liked about this pilot that I want to say before we get into the nitty gritty of it all is I loved how well it was paced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt like I wasn't really bored or begging for information or waiting at any point. Now, granted, it's an anime pilot, so it's like 22 minutes or whatever, but I'm telling you, dude, 22 minutes can drag sometimes, and this did not drag. It was like entertaining the whole time. It was also really fucked up. But Franny, what did you think of it?
I'd been told to watch this anime by multiple friends and everything, especially since I kind of got into anime later. I wasn't really into it growing up.
I know, I just got her into Dragon Ball, kids. It's awesome.
But I really liked this one. I like how in the first episode, it kind of blurs the lines between who's the good guys, who's the bad guys in the first episode, which I enjoyed since it is a dystopian thing and you automatically assume the thought police are going to be the bad guys. But in this situation, they start you off with them saving somebody's life and then kind of destroying somebody's life too. So it really fucks with you in the first episode and puts you right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
It's not a slow paced show whatsoever.
No,
not at all.
I think that also we watched the Funimation dub. I know a lot of people hate on Funimation dubs. I actually think, especially for a smaller studio, that they crank out a lot of high quality content. The voice performances here are good and never feel like they're just reading lines. It feels like they're interpreting the roles for real.
The roles.
Well, I mean, you just think about some of these other dubbed animes, these 4Kids dubs, right? Like Yu-Gi-Oh! And shit like that. Granted, that's a children's show, but my point being is these characters sometimes are just voices on top of the characters, and they don't embody them. I feel like all of these characters really felt like their voices as well, which is tends to be an issue with dubbed anime. So it's good in that sense. I thought it was a little grotesque at times, even for my taste.
I mean, I feel like the grotesqueness was
I get
pointed.
that. I just think that I don't know. It's just like it seems like some of the grotesqueness in the show isn't necessarily serviceable to the story always, which is fine. If you like hard, like very gritty things, this has very much got a Tarantino Eli Roth essence as an anime. It's very bloody and violent
not for kids
and disturbing. And really, the part that surprised me most about the review is that when we watched it, Franny was like, I really liked that. You're not usually the person to like really gory stuff.
I think with it being anime, I can kind of...
It's separation.
Yeah, it's the degree of separation.
I think that does help me too,
Yeah.
in how violent it is. I don't think this could work as a live action, at least not in the way they want to dispense with the violence. I think it would be far too violent. What did you think of it?
So, okay, there was a point where I was like, okay, I'm actually really in on this because I really liked the character lineup. I liked the premise a lot. I thought it was really cool how they were bringing in these kind of not necessarily reformed criminals, but reformed criminals.
They were like a Suicide Squad or something.
Yeah, kind of.
Some kind of Suicide Squad.
Like they're trying to make peace. Anyway, so I really enjoyed the actual premise. There were just things where I was like, holy shit, was not expecting it to take this turn, like with the R-word stuff and just like a lot of intensity that came through it. And I guess I should have known because it's called Psychopaths. But I actually really enjoyed it. I think it's really cool. I liked the kind of weird dynamic of like, okay, we're going to murder this guy because his crimes are like off the chain, but like because of his corruption, he's corrupting his victim. So now she's the one. And I was like, that was a turn I wasn't expecting. And I thought that was really cool.
It definitely says a lot. It almost is like actualizing the idea of blaming a victim. Yeah. Like, and I liked that part of it. I liked the social commentary that this really derives. And also it's a good social commentary as well on more like, I know that like, I wouldn't necessarily go with Japan as the most authoritative, Eastern country.
Right.
But there are authoritative elements throughout like all of the Eastern, side of the planet. And this is a cool play on that idea, like almost a Squid Game-esque idea where you're looking at a more dystopian but very possible future.
Yeah.
I thought that a lot of the technology in it was really inspired and different, like the gun and then the weird police robots that were like, do you have the ID? I'm in the shape of a little girl for some reason. I thought that was really interesting. I think that the main cop character and her are definitely going to fuck. Like, he's not a cop. He's one of the bad guys. But you know the one I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
They're going to fuck. I mean, and it's going to be dirty.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's just going to be like, did you psycho pass up this pussy? And he'll be like, no.
God.
I'm telling you, they're absolutely trying. I mean, maybe they're just going to be cool partners and stuff, but they totally have an X-Files
No, I think they're
thing
setting
going
up
on.
like a romance with it.
I agree because they also set it up that the one guy was like, oh, damn, she's hot. And she was like, I'm not interested in you, but whoa, dark, mysterious guy.
With the spiky hair. Ooh, wee.
I don't know if it's just like I look for the Cowboy Bebop and everything, but like he looks a little bit
like
to
Spike
me,
Spiegel?
like Spike.
Definitely.
And that turns me on a little bit. Like,
yeah,
I feel
for
like
sure.
That made me like him a lot more.
I liked how he was like, he wasn't disrespectful, but he also had like a quiet guy thing going on.
Yeah.
Like he didn't walk up like, I don't give a fuck what you have to say.
But
he pretty
also
much was
kind of
just
did.
like, he was pretty much just like, if you don't like what we're doing, kill us. Okay, bye. And you're just
Which
like,
I liked.
fuck.
Yeah.
That guy's got a huge wang. Anyway,
You know he's
Or he
slinging.
knows how to use it. I mean,
just like his
a little bit
gun.
of both.
just like his gun.
He only aims it at the worthy. Anyway,
Lord.
I mean, like to be honest, the plot is so serviceable that I think that it doesn't leave a lot for interpretation. Other than how you want to interpret the themes themselves. But I mean, it's very clear cut what they're trying to accomplish here. Dystopian society. And this main character of ours has a different perspective that she wants to bring onto people.
Yeah.
A more woke, interpretive perspective that we can, as an audience, align with and then like that character. But at the same time, you know, when you see what the criminal did, the one they were chasing down, you also understand why they send out people to like commit crimes on people who have these unpure thoughts, because you're like, well, I don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
But is he a result of it? Is his acting out a result of the climate of the system? Yeah. Is what drove him to madness, feeling like he was always being watched? And how should we feel about that?
And being told that he's a bad guy too.
Yeah.
Before even doing anything.
Yeah.
And it just happened one day randomly.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, was it really random, or were you fed up with it? Like, do we empathize? No, but is it almost like a concept where you're like, fuck, is it a trapped animal, or is it still a human being? Like, it's all very interesting concepts.
I feel like my only nitpick with it is the idea that like the gun kind of wanted to fire itself, and it was 100% like, we're gonna murder this guy. So what is the difference between this guy who raped somebody and the crimes that we have yet to know with these enforcers? Like, what was, they all are apparently really high level dangerous threats, and yet they did not have the kill switch pulled on them.
Well, I know that the gun can also apparently read current intentions, so maybe it was just a matter of giving oneself up.
Oh,
but who knows? We don't know. We didn't watch more yet. And I don't know if I will. I don't know if it's quite my vibe, but it's good. I mean, it is really good. I could see myself finishing it. It just, we watch so much content.
Yeah.
And I'm like, some of this was really grotesque, and some of it was a little surface level for me, to where I'm not like dying to see it again.
Yeah.
But it was good. I think if I was gonna recommend like a horror or like a thriller anime, go with Monster. Monster's much better than this, or Death Note. You know, there's tons of other options, but if you're into that vein of like the thriller and, you know, and also an accent of like very gritty like horror even, this could totally be your spot.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna watch this one. I like this one a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested to see where it goes. Do we know how many seasons it is?
No clue.
Wow. Okay.
I was like, I can look, but the one thing that I will say about it is that I feel like everything is there in the pilot. I don't know if I necessarily feel the need to finish the show, because I feel like the pilot did such a great job at explaining what the actual show is.
Yeah.
I just want to see where it goes.
That's the thing that's kind of confusing for me.
Wow, okay, then I'll probably finish it.
Like, maybe I will finish it.
That's the part that's confusing for me, is like, I don't know if I like the show, but I was wildly impressed with how effective the pilot was.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, I mean, it's only 22 episodes. I think I'll probably finish this.
okay, well, you know, maybe you can do like a little roundup video later and be like, these were my thoughts on this.
Yeah, let's do it.
We'll see.
She's not going to do it. But I would love to see it though.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, I'm going to give the pilot, although I don't know if you guys have more to say. I'm just going to get right to this rating part here. I'm going to give the pilot a 7 with an asterisk next to it. Watch with caution.
Yeah.
I think if you're not willing to jump into the grotesque and the uncomfortable, this will be a wildly uncomfortable show for you. And trigger warnings ahead.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
100%.
Yeah, genuinely.
There's a lot that happens in this that's very uncomfortable to watch. And if it was put in a live action framing, I don't know if it would have been made. So
no, I don't think it would have been.
At least not so availably to people on Hulu and, you know. Probably been seen by a couple of kids. I mean, it is an anime after all. That's always the problem, right? Is that kids get a hold of adult anime. I watched Death Note in the 5th grade. So
I watched School Days when I was like 10. Like,
oh my
that's
God.
not a good thing.
Yeah, definitely not.
I don't even know what that one is. I'm gonna give this an 8.
We should do School Days.
No, we should not.
Let's just do hentai at this point.
Okay, let's just do a hentai review. I think I agree. I think I'll give it an 8. I think like I've had some time and some space with it enough that I can highly rate it, but I think at the time it was really jarring, and I was like, "What the actual fuck is
I think that's
this?"
what it boils down to for me. Is I'm the person who's like, I'm gonna take this away and not think about like what it could prospectively be, because I'm sure it's good, because it's so highly rated amongst everybody, and it was very engaging. But I just thought that first episode was so harsh, like so fucking harsh and aggressive in every way.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
kind of exciting.
Definitely. So if you like that kind of stuff, watch it.
And let us know what other animes like you want us to cover and watch,
Yeah,
because
for sure.
we're starting to dabble a bit more, and I want to do more than just like the mainstays, like One Piece, like which we're gonna review.
Yeah, but we'll. I mean, I know
Or might
tons
have already.
of. I know
I don't
tons
know
of
what
good
order.
obscure anime. I think we should do some more of the mainstays, though. I think that
Yeah.
we'll be disservicing people if we don't just do an all-out Death Note review.
Oh, I agree with that too.
So, or
Yeah.
Full Metal Alchemist, you know, the mainstays as well. But
Yeah.
we can get into weird stuff like Golden Boy, which is essentially hentai. We could do that.
I mean, my friend watches one about guys playing volleyball.
That's actually a really popular anime.
I don't know anything
Haikyuu?
about it.
Haikyuu,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Haikyuu, yeah.
Very popular.
That's
we can
actually
watch.
kind of a mainstay. It's huge.
Yeah, it's
Really?
huge. We could watch
Yeah.
Master of Tennis.
Yes, we could.
Yep.
We could watch it.
All right, let's go ahead and get on to the next review then.
Yeah.
All right, kids, we'll be right back with Peacemaker. So Peacemaker.
So Peacemaker.
Are we doing a mid-credit or?
Hold on. Do we want to do a ad read or no?
We
'Cause
could.
You could just do an audio.
Do you want me to do one right now?
You could
Yeah,
just do an audio,
just
and
do
I
an
could
audio.
put something over it or whatever you want to do.
I would play the music in the background, but I'm afraid it wouldn't work. So let me just
I'm
speak
not worried
it.
about it. I was like, just plug what you want to plug.
Okay, cool. Hey kids, just grabbing the mic for a second to tell you guys to check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Logan Tyler. It's gonna have more of my personal interviews on there, as well as you can check out some clips from all the shows that we do with Held Captive Media. And you can also check out our YouTube channel for a pilot podcast, youtube.com/pilot podcast, where you can check out these videos if you're listening on our RSS feeds anywhere else like Spotify or Apple. You can watch it on YouTube now in video, in live color. What do you know? Well, anyway, guys. Oh, and of course, check out our YouTube channel, Team Hyperfang. We don't have a URL for it, but we'll put it in the description. It's our Pokemon Nuzlocke Let's Play that I'm doing with Cody. So, thanks, guys, and thanks for listening.
Hey guys, we're back. We're gonna talk about Peacemaker. Cody, do you want to start us out with the Wikipedia?
You're being so
What?
weird.
Me?
Yes, you're being really weird. Okay.
Never.
Hey!
Hey guys!
Hi.
It's
So
like a fucking kid's toy commercial,
Oh
dude.
my god.
that's what it was.
It's like, wow, super awesome, bop
you
it,
want to
zip
play
it,
with
bap
this
it.
Nerf gun, kids? Okay.
Don't eat it. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
We just saw a groundhog, and I think we're just really excited.
Ted, right? I almost called him Tid.
Ted Munchies.
Tid
Yeah.
is what I almost called him.
Tid.
That's not a name.
Tid.
So, you know, just a Tid.
Munchy.
Just call him.
That's like something like a Southern woman would say if they just wanted a little bit of juice in their cup.
Just a tid.
Just give me a tit.
Just a tid.
Just a tit. Maybe a bit of a spinch.
Well, speaking of a spinch, anyway, I don't know.
Speaking of spinch, Peacemaker.
Peacemaker. Peacemaker is an American superhero television series created by James Gunn for the streaming service HBO Max, based on the DC Comics character Peacemaker. It is the first in the DC Extended Universe, DCEU television series, and a spin-off from the 2021 film The Suicide Squad. Set in the events after the film, the series explores a jingoistic words killer. Yeah. Great.
Do you really
was
want
that
to? Do you really want to taste it? This is the best theme song ever.
Yes.
I
And the
love-
intro, the opener.
So the funny part about the intro, the opener of Peacemaker, is that when James Gunn was first pitching the idea to Warner Bros., because they're like, you made the Suicide Squad, and even though it didn't make money, it did really well critically. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. And he's like, I want to grab that John Cena guy, and I want to make a show. And there was an early reviewer of Suicide Squad who's like, I don't know what they think they're going to get out of John Cena, because he barely did anything in this movie. I mean, what are they going to have him do? Like, do a fucking opening dance like back in his WWE days? So then they added an opening dance credit to the beginning of the show. And it's great, by the way. It's so good. I love it. I watch it every time. So yeah, Peacemaker. All right, let's talk about the pilot, and then we'll get into the spoilers. Okay. pilot episode. What'd you think, Cody? I want to know because I know what me and Franny thought. I'm so desperate to know because if you shit on it, I can just as easily just like pour gasoline back onto it in a good way, so it'll be fine.
Okay. So there's a lot of things I think it did really well, and then there's a lot of things where I'm like, why?
I'm excited to hear this.
Me too. I've been dying to know what you thought about it.
Okay.
Because we've also said that you're going to think it's so down the middle. We just knew your taste on this.
Yeah. I think it's okay. How can I word this? I'm gonna go in and say you should probably watch Peacemaker's like prequel, the Suicide Squad movie, before you watch this. I did not. So I kind of went into this very blind, and I'm not really familiar with the DC Comics character either. So I knew his whole aesthetic was like America, and I knew he was
America,
kind of a villain.
Yeah, anti-hero at minimum.
Yeah, kind of.
At minimum, he's an anti-hero.
Yeah. I just I didn't like it.
Well, what did you not like about it?
I didn't like it because I feel like tonally at points it didn't know what it wanted to be. There were times where I think it really wanted to be kind of like what we're used to with superhero movies, where it's like, okay, it's like kind of this kitschy, like his dance scene when he's in his underwear. It's like kitschy comedy and it's mixed with action and it does a lot of it well. But then I feel like there's just some real cringe between like him and the one blonde, Harcourt. Yeah, like that whole dynamic. I was like, okay, this is a little try hard for me.
What's cringe about it?
I think it's it's just the mindset for me. His like,
it's not that I don't agree or disagree with it.
I'm trying to word it.
Mean.
It's okay
because one of the things that people really liked about it was Harcourt, so I think it's interesting. That's actually James Gunn's wife.
More him, not her.
Oh,
the
really?
way he was on her.
The way he was with her.
Well, okay, let me say this about it.
Okay,
that alters. He doesn't stay in this.
Well,
like,
I figure.
Well, I think it's important to mention that it alters because I think you're right in the sense that like the first episode has a lot to do to make you like Peacemaker because they have to also make him as unlikable in scenes.
Yep.
For me, it worked, and I think for you, it didn't,
Exactly.
and that's the differentiator. But I do think that people who weren't sold on Peacemaker by the first episode can easily be sold on him by the last episode.
Okay.
Because of the transformation of the character.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes the show so good. But we won't get into the rest of it. Let's stay with the pilot. So I kind of get what you're saying with that. He just comes off like a cringy, try-hard bro, and you don't like his character, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fair enough. I think that his character is supposed to be flawed, and you can interpret that as being like overly flawed, annoying to an extent. Like there is a point where a character goes too far, and that was that for you. Totally disagree for me.
Me too.
I think the negative part of the show, for me, at least in the earlier parts, is it's hard to put into words, but it really just boils down to they were a little too goofy at the top to where now you have this level of entry where you're like, is this going to be dick and fart jokes the whole show?
Yep.
But it's not that at all.
That's what I meant tonally.
Yeah. And I think the reason they had to do that is because coming up in further episodes, there's going to be a lot of shit happening where there wasn't going to be a lot of opportunity for comedy. And ultimately, Peacemaker's biggest appeal is that John Cena is a funny actor.
Yeah.
Like, he can do comedic acting.
I agree.
I mean, WWE wrestlers know how to ham it up, and he totally has that. I mean, John Cena is not somebody I'd call a good actor, but he's made for this role. He fucking kills it as this character. I think the best part about the pilot for me was Adebayo.
Yeah.
I like that character a lot, and she grows as well. She was the one who was like the new member of the team, you know?
Yeah, she's tasty and Orange is the New Black.
Yeah.
I love her. She's a great actress.
She fucking killed it in this. I think it was perfect casting. And, you know, like, if the Golden Globes were a fair community of voting, I think there's a good chance that she could have gotten a supporting part.
I like that.
Because on top of her having to be funny, like Peacemaker, I'm not going to say in what, but she has the same thing where she has to walk a certain line that's very difficult. and I think that she succeeds because of the wealth of her acting.
Yeah.
Harcourt, I love. I think I love all of the mainstay characters, but the one that really is incredible is Vigilante.
Yes, which he's not in the pilot.
Yes, he is. He's on the phone. He leaves a bunch of voice messages.
Oh, yes.
You don't see him yet, but know that Vigilante is the best character in the show.
Okay.
Like, unbelievably funny and like so mentally unwell, and that's what makes him even more funny. Like to not where it's incredible. But anyway, let's get to the pilot and then we'll go to the spoilers. So what did you think of the pilot?
I loved it. I was so excited about this. I think John Cena's hilarious. I think this is exactly what the kind of content he should be in.
Yeah, like don't put him in something real because
no.
he is like he's just not ready. He's
like,
a
goober. Like
yeah,
it's just supposed.
Don't put him in a fucking serious role. Like
no.
Let's keep this character more leaning towards the Rock kind of films. Let's keep him out of serious roles.
Yeah. No, this was the perfect thing. I like the character that they chose to continue on with because I feel like we didn't get a lot of Peacemaker, and what we got of Peacemaker was very like beginner. You know, it feels like almost his backstory happened, and they do grow that character a ton in this, and it gave them a lot of room to grow that character.
His father, White Dragon, as known in the comics,
crazy to be able to put that.
I'll tell you this much, dude. First of all, that's a very hard character to put into a comedy, let alone a show in general.
You need somebody like John Cena in that show to kind of.
But also, how great was that performance? I fucking hated him.
Oh yeah.
I hated him.
God.
And that's because that dude was an incredible actor and can make you fucking hate him.
And it's so funny too, with the intro, how they have them all dancing, how he's like just dancing along.
And like,
I love that. I love the contrast of the intro. I think it's so fun.
And there was characters introduced in the first episode that, spoilers, like aren't in any other episodes that are in that intro.
Yeah.
It's like the whole major cast of the show is like in this intro.
Well, that's cool.
And that I thought was really fun. But yeah, for me, the Peacemaker pilot, though it has some hiccups, I'm gonna give it like a solid 8 out of 10. And for me, just spoilers ahead, it improves wildly over the next few episodes.
I'm going to give it a 9. I was all in with this pilot. I was so excited to continue watching it. And I didn't think I'd really care about this show that much, honestly.
Also, shout out to HBO for supporting their companion podcast, Podly. You should go listen to it.
Oh my God. And
support companion podcast, because maybe one day someone will give us one.
A great character you don't meet, or do you meet Eagly? Yeah, you do meet Eagly.
Yeah, he hugs Eagly in the first
He's
episode.
the best part of the show.
Eagly is amazing.
And he continues to be so relevant and awesome throughout
Our
the show.
dog loves Eagly. Every time Eagly's on screen, Dwight is on that screen too.
Eagly, merch wise too, is kind of turned into the new like alligator, like Loki.
Alligator Loki, yeah.
Where there's tons of good merch out of Eagly, like out there. And there's like a filter that James Gunn is trying to make for like social media, and he's been talking about it forever, where he just wants like a thing where like you're on social media, like a Snapchat, and you go, "Hey Eagly," and it just like makes that loud eagle noise, and the eagle comes across the screen.
Oh, that's cute.
Amazing. I need that.
But they were trying, and he was talking about how he was trying to get it done before the show came out, and it was just like impossible because of COVID. Like it was impossible to work with people in that way. So like that would have been cool, but just the work that they put into this was incredible. What did you think of what was the rating for you, the pilot for you?
Okay, so having gone in not really knowing anything about the character, I will say there were definitely points that were jarring for me. And so it's not going to be that high. I thought, the dad was really great at making me dislike him, but coming in and him using like the F word, and I was just kind of like, okay, I didn't know it was like this kind of show. And I think maybe that's why it kind of like threw me. But then you have some really high points where like I think the whole entire sex scene is so funny.
Yes, absolutely.
It's so funny. And then you have Eagly on top of it, and Eagly's just like a really great like part of it.
Yes, he's just this character you can attach to and like just love and think is so fucking funny. While also like Eagly in his own right is, as the show goes on, is incredibly brutal. And it's awesome. I
love that at the end he just like gives a dead possum to him. He's like, here you go, buddy. I hope you feel better for murdering your hookup. But I I'm interested.
That's an ongoing gag where he
Is it
brings
really?
in a possum whenever Peacemaker's sad, or like
Aw.
like a rat he found on the
Yeah.
highway, shit
That's
like that.
cute. But it also did have me like. There were some questions I had. Like, I'm interested to see what kind of character Freddie Stroma is, and like what he brings to the show. But then there's also points where I was like, okay, you didn't land this for me. Like, I think
Who does he play?
Freddie Stroma is the guy in the diner. He's like the little brother.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, he's Franny. I mean, should we just?
I mean, I feel like we can
I
spoil
give it a
that.
5.5.
That's Vigilante.
Yeah,
Okay, I didn't know that, but
And
I had
yes.
I had a feeling.
he's
Uh-huh.
incredible.
He's
in it.
incredible. They tell you like
Incredible.
they tell
Love
you
it.
like the next episode.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah.
Well, you're supposed to be able to figure it out because of his level of excitement.
Yeah.
And then in
Yeah.
the very next episode, like in that same episode, you're hearing voicemails
Okay.
with the same voice.
Yeah.
So there is hints at it right away, but in the second episode, they clear it up for you immediately.
I think it might just because he's English, and I don't think the accent was like solid all the way through.
Oh, dude, no, that accent's solid because once
really?
you get
Okay.
because the character is like mentally inept in a way, in like a sense that like he's like very mentally ill, and so his weird voice, like his kind of like childlike carrying on innocent voice that he puts on with the
it
character
fits.
is so fucking funny every time. He'd just be
Okay.
like, "What's the like?" Okay, let's get into spoilers for a second.
I was like,
There's-
I don't think I got to that part. So okay.
there's a scene where there's a chainsaw involved, right? And he wants to use this chainsaw to kill
Uh-huh.
people. He's like, I want to go kill these monsters with this fucking chainsaw. And he's like,
Okay.
don't bring a chainsaw. And then another character comes up and saves him with the chainsaw. And instead of being all happy, he gets all mad. He's like, so you just fucking brought the chainsaw to like throw it in my face. There's so many moments like that. Or he's like, I'm Peacemaker's best friend next to Eagly.
Yeah.
And like always says shit like that. And he's like, an Eagly's my 5th best friend. So it's cool and doesn't bother me. Like that's exactly how this character is the whole time.
Okay.
It's so fucking funny, dude. He is the best character on the show.
I love that.
So yeah, if you're ever like looking to see what that character was like, there's so many compilations on YouTube
Okay.
because he's everybody's favorite.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Do you remember the Aquaman joke from the beginning?
Yes.
What if I told you the real life Jason Momoa Aquaman addressed at the end of the show?
He does?
In the
Yes.
show, yeah.
That he fucks fish?
Oh, what happens is the real life Barry Allen, Mr. What's his face? What's that actor's name? The one who slapped that chick. What's his name? He's in Fantastic Beasts.
Fuck, what's his name?
No, it's not Miles.
One of you
Teller.
guys-
It's,
No.
You both
It
have
starts
your
with an
phones.
E. It starts with an E.
Elijah
No. He's in Perks.
Eli.
He's in Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Yes, he is.
Oh.
Is
Hold on,
what
hold
the
on.
fuck
I'm
is
Googling,
Barry
I'm
Allen's
Googling,
name?
I'm Googling. It's not Grant Gustin, guys. Come on.
No, it's not Grant Gustin. The other one. Well, anyway, so the Flash is talking to Aquaman,
Yeah.
and he goes, whatever fish fucker.
Ezra Miller.
Ezra Miller. At one point, Aquaman, because of the situation, goes, "Get out of my way, fish fucker," something along those lines. To Aquaman, John Cena says, "Get out of my way, fish fucker." And then Aquaman goes, "I'm so fucking sick of that rumor." And then Barry goes, "It's not a rumor," and he goes, "Fuck you, Barry." And that's the last thing you see of Aquaman and the Flash in that show.
Okay.
But they're the actual actors
Mhm.
in it.
Interesting.
And,
Okay.
and Superman's there, but he's not the actor, but you can like see a silhouette of him.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Wonder Woman's there, you can see the silhouette of her.
Okay.
But you only see up close Barry and Aquaman, but it's the real actors. And it was a really fucking funny,
It was
like
great.
this show's filled with weird, crazy surprises. There's an alien ape at one point.
Okay.
Yeah, just
Um,
even like what the plot is. And also
Yeah.
the show is very like
The plot is about these aliens from outer space called butterflies,
Mhm.
and they go into people's brains and like take over them.
Yeah.
And what you come to find out is that there's literally elements and people that are working alongside these butterflies. One of them is Amanda Waller, who's working for the butterflies.
And
Oh, okay.
Adebayo is Amanda Waller's kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't
Yeah.
sure if they established that in the first one or not.
there's tons of great stuff in this. Lots of good 80s like glam rock that like works really well like within the situation. Great prison fight scene I always think of with Vigilante. That was really good. There's tons of stuff in this 8-episode run. It's really entertaining.
And a lot of social commentary too.
Tons of it.
It's
tons
good.
of it.
I
Tons
highly
about
recommend
like how much of your parents' doings and your parents, like your family's opinions, how much of it are you socially responsible for? And then how much of the mistakes you've made in your life are, you know, your culpability and responsibility and how early of an age? Like,
Yeah.
things were done to Peacemaker to make him a bad guy, arguably, but some people can argue that it doesn't matter. He's still a bad guy anyway. And I hear that. And there's also a scene where he literally just plays Motley Crue on the piano for the entire song. No singing, no anything. It's just Peacemaker playing at the piano right before he fights like a shit ton of butterflies. And it's a great scene. And like, you think it'd be stupid, but it was really fucking good and like full of dramatic emotion.
I feel like the scene I really liked was the one where they're outside in the parking lot and the new girl approaches him and he's like
Turns on the helmet or
no.
oh.
She approaches him in the parking lot and he's got Eagly in the car and he sees the ring and he goes, "Oh, you hubbed up?" And she like chooses not to say. And I thought that was really interesting and cool.
The greatest relationship in this show, in my opinion, between any characters, I guess Vigilante and Peacemaker means a lot too for the comedy's sake. But one of the deepest relationships for Peacemaker in the show, one of the things that turns his whole life around, is Adebayo. Their friendship really changes a lot of aspects of who he is in a great way. And then also, like, let's be honest, like at the end of the show, she wasn't always that good to him. She betrayed him too.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's something that they had to come to terms with each other. It's like friends and be like, listen, I was shitty, you were shitty, let's just move on. And there's an overall lesson to be learned there. And he even said, which is funny because Vigilante had just been like, I'm his second best friend next to Eagly. And then Peacemaker at one of the end of, like, I think it was the end of the final episode.
Yeah.
They're in the hospital. He turns to Adebayo, and Adebayo is like covered in blood and shit from the fight. And he's just like, "Hey, I just want to let you know something, but you can't tell Vigilante." And she's like, "Okay, what is it?" And he's like, "You're my best friend next to Eagly." And then she like rolls a single tear and does like a chest
Aw,
pump.
That's cute.
It's it's a good show. I think the comedy in it becomes more sound as you get reeled into the reality of the show.
Okay.
If anything, this feels like a batshit D&D campaign.
So maybe it's just I wasn't used to the tone.
Yeah.
I think what I would do for you is maybe if you're interested in it, go watch Suicide Squad. Although for people, a lot of people told me they didn't find it necessary. People that saw it.
Oh, really?
But you know,
I mean, it tells you all you need to know.
It can't hurt.
But
It'll effectively set you up to what you're going to see.
They do recap it in the first like 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm. And anything that's super relevant, they bring up again and like re-explain. But if you wanted to like try it again, just like maybe try the movie and then dig back into the show, because the movie is also much better than the first Suicide Squad, like notably better.
Mhm.
It's just a gorier. I wouldn't say gorier. It's a more adult version of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
James.
That's
Gunn.
what the Suicide Squad is. No matter how much he wants to argue with it, that's what it is.
Interesting.
It's just a more adult, more mature Suicide Squad. So, or sorry, Guardians of the Galaxy. So,
what character would you say we all are?
that's what I was getting to. Okay, that's tough because I think all of these characters are so horrible and good at the same time.
yeah.
I think for me, I don't know.
Oh, I do want to say real quick. I like the sugar tits joke. In the
When he
pilot.
calls
Do
her
you like
sugar
that?
tits,
He,
yeah.
he calls her sugar tits, and then he goes, "You have sugar tits" to the guy.
Dyebeard.
Yes, Dyebeard.
I think I'm Dyebeard.
Okay.
I accept that
I
about
like
myself.
You can say it.
I could consider myself the smartest person in the room, but I definitely would trip and like rip my whole fucking leg off essentially. Although that's not exactly
Yeah.
what happened, but he trips and hurts himself really terribly.
Okay.
And I'm just like, and it was over like barely any distance, and I'm like, me.
Yikes.
Love that.
Franny's Harcourt,
yeah.
Love that.
Adebayo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Easy enough.
Definitely.
On my most unhinged days, maybe I show a little bit of that peacemakerism,
yeah.
but only when I get into the toxic masculinity that's indoctrinated into my
Mhm.
soul that I have to work my way out of. So
Maybe I get a little
Fuck
bit into
patriarchy.
vigilanteism.
Mhm. I'm fighting against the patriarchy every day.
Good luck.
Trust me.
I'm fighting against my mental illness every day. Trying not to be vigilante.
Maybe you are more like vigilante than I thought.
I'm just kidding.
No,
No,
you're
definitely more hardcore.
Eagly.
I'm Eagly.
Oh, cute.
Love Eagly.
Who would you slam? Who would you?
Ooh, I hate to say it, but Peacemaker, he's so hot, and John Cena's so hot in this.
Oh God,
I cannot help it.
Okay.
You
I know,
could.
I hate it.
You could
but
help it.
okay.
He's so hot in this.
You could not.
Love that.
What about you? Already hardcore.
Are we doing fuck, marry, kill?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Okay, so, I might have to think about that one. So I think I would fuck Peacemaker. I would marry. No. I would fuck Vigilante, marry Peacemaker,
You'd fuck Vigilante?
kill.
There's a scene
the
where
White
Vigilante and
Dragon.
Peacemaker have a threesome with a chick. It's really funny. Throwing that out
I
there.
just feel like
Okay.
Vigilante's so crazy that it'd be the craziest experience ever.
Yeah,
Okay.
you might lose a limb.
You
but
might,
yeah.
but it's just a one-time thing.
I was losing a limb, hopefully. It's a no time thing.
God, all right. What about you?
Okay, mine's easy.
She didn't do who she'd kill.
Oh, who would you kill?
White Dragon.
Good
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah.
Duh.
Let's write him out. We
Yeah.
can't pick White Dragon because that's such a. If you don't pick White Dragon, you might be perceived as a racist.
Yeah.
So let's throw White Dragon out. Try again.
I don't really want to kill anybody else though.
I got mine locked in.
Nothing.
Maybe Diebeard for his own sake. But you're not Diebeard.
I don't dye my beard if that helps.
Yeah. I just feel like-
Diebeard's the shit.
Well,
What are
I
you
like
talking
Diebeard. I don't know. There's not a character I want to kill in this besides White Dragon.
about? Or as his name actually is Economist. Sorry.
I know, but there's not a character I want to kill in this besides White Dragon.
I got it.
Amanda Waller. She counts.
That's fair. I would go for my fuck. I would fuck Adebayo because she's hot, but I know she wouldn't want to have sex with me because she's clearly a lesbian. So it would just be like a one thing where I'd be like, are you down? Like, if you're down, we can do it once, and then I'll never tell anybody. So, for your sake, not mine, I would tell everybody if you let me. And then I would marry Harcourt because I love strong, angry women. My thing. And I would kill the neighbor
Oh yeah.
that
That's
keeps
fair.
fucking talking about Peacemaker is not a fucking superhero and gives him shit and is clearly going to be Batmite. I'm calling it now. In a different season, we're gonna find out that he's Batmite because he's way too obsessed with Batman to not be an interdimensional imp who's obsessed with Batman, who's a Batman weeb.
Oh, that's
Can you
cool.
believe that's a real character? And they bring it up as being canon in the real show.
Mhm.
Economist goes, well, at least we didn't get Batmite. And Peacemaker goes, who's Batmite? He's like, it's an internet dimensional imp who stands Batman.
That's crazy.
And I think it's that neighbor, and I think he's going to be in season 2 as Batmite.
I kind of love that.
Right.
That's my guess.
And I mean, he was in the intro song.
Yeah, but so were multiple janitors.
Yeah.
The police officers that we saw did not make it to the end. At least not in any meaningful way.
Damn.
Jesus Christ, this show's brutal at times. What would
was
you
your-
pick?
I would fuck Freddie Stroma.
So Vigilante?
I'd fuck Freddie Stroma.
Wow. Well, now you get Vigilante.
Okay, but it's Freddie Stroma, so that's why.
Yeah.
I would marry Harcourt, and I would kill No. Who's
Kill Peacemaker? Wow, that's harsh.
he's no. He's just like that guy. You're like, oh shucks. Okay.
Maybe
Yeah.
I'd kill Myrn is another one too.
Who's the guy who sat next to Peacemaker in the diner? Like, who's the trio? It's Harcourt, the Economist, and who's the last guy?
There's Harcourt, Economist, Adebayo, and then Myrn.
Oh, Myrn.
Yeah,
probably.
the leader of their little group.
Yes, Myrn. I didn't
Myrn.
like him.
Well, that's interesting.
He
That's
gave
all
me
I'll
bad
say.
vibes.
That's fair.
Very
Okay.
fair.
Cool.
All right, kids. I think we've done it.
Yeah.
I will say. Oh gosh, poor little Fred. I keep knocking him
You
over.
killed Freddie Stroma.
I know.
Yes.
I'm excited for season 2. I'm definitely gonna watch it. Maybe me and Fran will review it, depending on if Cody doesn't want to like catch up and
we'll see.
wants to stay in obscurity with it.
We'll see.
We'll definitely watch it though, so we'll see.
I'll definitely watch it. I'm waiting for it. Who knows if there's even gonna be like a real season 2?
Have they announced it?
I just know that it was one of HBO's most successful new shows for streaming.
Yeah.
It like increased their subscriber count by quite a bit.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, see if it's announced real fast before we go.
I mean,
but you know what is announced? The Penguin show and the Arkham show are both announced, so that'll be good.
I mean, it says that he's been teasing it. James Gunn's been teasing it with post-credit things and a secret project soon to be released. That's all it says.
I appreciate that there's a post-credit scene at the end of every episode. I thought that was fun. Considering, is there even one at the end of the Batman movie? Was there even a post-credit scene there?
Yeah, no, there wasn't.
No,
not that I remember.
I don't. Oh, there was.
What was it?
I think it was about. It was the Joker.
No, that was in the movie.
I thought. Okay, maybe
was
not.
in the
Oh, and then recently they put out a deleted scene from the movie with the Joker in it that's extended. So
yeah, I saw that.
If you guys want to see more of that Joker, that's there. But anyway, children, I think we've wrapped it up.
Yeah.
Where can everybody find everyone?
YouTube.com/apilotpodcast.
Yeah, if you're listening to this to an RSS feed, if you're listening on Spotify or Apple or whatever, know that we're also on YouTube on video in real time. You can look at our beautiful faces, talk about stuff. You can also check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Logan Tyler, where you get clips, interviews that I do with people, just whatever content I feel like posting. It's just kind of like my extra content channel. So check that out. And then we also have a gaming channel that me and Cody do called Team Hyperfang.
Yeah.
We do Pokemon Nuzlocke.
Nice. Technically, there is one, and it's the little timer website for the Riddler.
I remember that.
You can find me on youtube.com/CLBlueOfficial. I make Critical Role content every Saturday at noon, and I have an album called Scorpio. It's out now on all streaming platforms. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Later, kids.